What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king, welcoming you to a brand new Let's Play. And welcome back, everybody, to the Unova region. It is finally time for us to jump on into the sequel to Pokemon Black and White. Nearly 2 years to the day, give or take a few weeks. I believe May 22nd is the exact 2-year anniversary of that first episode of Pokemon Black and White. But regardless, we are back, and this is the only time that Game Freak ever did this, to actually give one of their main series games a proper sequel. I know they did it in spin-off games, so I'm not counting those, but not only is Pokemon Black and White 2 a sequel, it is also kind of just a celebration of Pokemon in general. This game adds a whole plethora of content that Pokemon Black and White 1 did not have, while also expanding the map even further. It also brought back a ton of Pokemon from generations 1 through 4, which in Black and White 1 really weren't available until you got to the post-game, and even then the selection was incredibly limited. This time around, they are fully incorporated in, and this is one of the largest Pokedexes you can get in any game. In fact, I would go as far to say that outside of Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet, with their DLC, Pokemon Black and White 2 might just be the biggest game in the entire series. There is so much content here, so many things to go over that just thinking about it has me pretty overwhelmed. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a breakdown as to how this is going to go. You can obviously skip to the time code up on the top right corner of the screen if you want to. You don't care about any of this stuff. But I am going to jump into the blank menu because I don't want that cutscene to loop around again. So here's how this is going to work. Not only is this going to be a look at the sequel to Pokemon Black and White, this is also the sequel Let's Play to my original Let's Play of Pokemon Black and White. Let me explain. I went over quite a few details in that original Let's Play, as well as detailed breakdowns and bios for all of the Pokemon in the Unovan decks. I am not going to repeat myself, or I'm going to try not to repeat myself as much as possible this time around. This is a new game. There are new things added to it, and there are more than enough Pokemon to go over from the previous generations. So I am going to instead leave all of those explanations to the first game. I'm going to act as if you already know about all of those Pokemon. We are only going to be learning about the additions to this game. But there's more to it than that. I am still going to be covering the post-game as much as I possibly can. I am going to be, this is going to be an extensive coverage of this game. However, the one problem with Pokemon Black and White 2 is that this game has by far the most social features of any Pokemon game ever made. And I think I could say that pretty confidently. There are things like GeoNet, GTS, the Enterlink, the Dream World, Join Avenue, all of these things that required both the Nintendo Online service Nintendo Online Wi-Fi service that was specifically for the Wii and the DS, as well as a lot of local play interconnectivity stuff that you also could get based on passerby and, just running your DS in sleep mode while also being connected to people using the C gear. It was all really cool stuff, very innovative stuff for the time, but a lot of this stuff, in fact, almost all of it is completely inaccessible now, especially if it has to do with the online Wi-Fi service that has been shut down for going on, 11 years now? So I obviously can't access any of those features. There are ways around it. There are ways of manipulating it, but I don't think that stuff is worth my time when covering what are essentially a bunch of dead social connectivity features. So I'm going to go over a lot of those things briefly, but it is a good chunk of the game. I mean, things like Entralink and the Dream World and Join Avenue are heavily integrated into Black and White 2, but they're just not really accessible anymore. So I am going to be mostly skimming over those as quickly as I possibly can. If you want in-depth guides, there are other Let's Players that do a much better job of that. This is just going to be a focus on the game itself, the core single-player experience. So, I think, without further ado, I can just jump right on into this thing. This will be a longer than normal episode, as the first episode almost always is, due to explaining and tutorials and all that sort of stuff. So, now, let's just jump on into the game proper. Hi there! Welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Professor Juniper. Everyone calls me the Pokemon Professor. That's right, this world is widely inhabited by mysterious creatures called Pokémon. Pokémon have mysterious powers. They come in many shapes and live in many different places. We humans live happily with Pokémon, living and working together. We complement each other. We help each other out to accomplish difficult tasks. Having Pokémon battle one another is particularly popular, and it deepens the bonds between people and Pokémon. And that is why I research Pokémon. Well, that's enough from me. Could you tell me about yourself? Are you a boy or are you a girl? Okay, this time around we are left with two new protagonists, Nate and Rosa. That is their American names. Their Japanese names were Kyohei and Mei. Now, in the first game, I insisted on picking the boy protagonist because, well, I have a personal attachment to the guy because out of all of the Pokemon protagonists, he is the one that looks the most like me. I cannot say the same for Nate here. I mean, he's kind of a you could almost argue both of them are kind of spin-offs of the Black and White 1 protagonists, but yeah, not quite the same. I mean, I will say right at this moment, I almost have as much hair as Nate does, but definitely not my favorite looking protagonist. However, I think we can all agree that the female protagonist this time around is very well designed, and I like to kind of keep it nice and even. Granted, in my Platinum playthrough, which was technically more recently, I also went with the girl protag, but I want to do it again this time just because I think Rosa is a very iconic design. However, in my mind, especially just because, well, you know, I was very heavily invested back in the day when this game was first coming out, and we were getting a lot of the leaks, but I always just kind of preferred it. Her Japanese name, I like it so much more than Rosa. I've always been more partial to Mei as a design. No offense to anybody named Rosa or anything along those lines, but it's just such a good, like, universal name that's also not very region-locked. Like, Kyohei, obviously, very Japanese, but Mei is just a name that kind of, I think, transcends a lot of cultures, and I've always been a big fan of it, so I'm going to go with that for our protagonist this time. Your name is Mei. Yes! So your name is Mei. What a wonderful name. Could you tell me a little bit about your friend, the older boy who lives nearby? Would you mind telling me his name? Yes, this time around, we only have one rival, not two, although we are allowed to actually change his name this time. Something I'm not going to do. Now, what I've always loved about him is his name is Hugh, but in Japanese, his name is also Hugh, just spelled differently. It's H-U-E. I'm just going to keep this spelling the default spelling because, well, it's canonically accurate and also just works the best, I think. So we're going to say yes. Mei, I'm going to entrust you with a Pokemon. I'm sure you will be great partners. The moment you choose the Pokemon that will accompany you on your journey, your story will truly begin. During your journey, you will meet many Pokemon and people with different personalities and points of view. I really hope you learn what is important to you as a result of your travels. That's right. Befriend new people and Pokemon and grow as a person. That's the most important goal of your journey. Let's go visit the world of Pokemon. Aw, man, you're cutting off some of the best intro music in any game ever. Come on now. Oh, hi. Why, Araya Juniper? It's been far too long. What can I do for you? Wow, a Pokedex for my child? Why, that's great. I think a journey would be a wonderful experience. What now? She's already here? Oh, for Pete's sake, you never change. Once you've decided on something, you just start going. Okay, Bianca, right? A big green hat. Got it. All right, no worries. And that's just me vibing to the music right now. I love the theme here. Mei, I'm home! And instead of having our own upstairs room, we actually just have a room that's kind of to the side, which I think begs even more questions as to where my mom sleeps, probably on the couch. Not that that's really ever been a thing that's been answered in the past. Okay, first things first, I want to, jump into the options real quick and change a couple things, but I also want to go over something. All right. I did not mean to do that. That was an accident. Okay, I'm already fat fingering things. No, let's actually like try to change some things here. So I'll go fast. I usually generally leave everything else as set. Now, unfortunately, they have taken away my L equals A functionality this time around because now it is mapped to other things, which I've always hated, but whatever. It's just kind of a little bit of a nitpick. But yeah, text speed needs to be fast. Battle scenes I always keep on. I just do battle style as shift just because it's consistent. I know set is technically a difficulty change, and it is slightly more accurate and more correct to how the game is supposed to be played, but shift is the default. That's why I leave it that way. And then we are going to say no save to that just because there can be some major issues that arise if I mess with this at all. So, well, we'll talk about that a little bit later. For now, let's just confirm. Okay, so this is the thing I want to talk about. The city name. I have heard it, and for the longest time, I thought it was called was Aspertia City. As in, E-R-T-I-A, the same spelling as the word inertia. That's why I always thought it was that, but I have apparently been misinformed this entire time because so many other people, and granted, not everybody, some people have the same pronunciation as me, but most people say that it is technically correct to call it Aspertia City. So, because that is apparently the correct pronunciation, I'm going to go with that. If anyone wants to correct me in the comments, go right ahead, but it's what you're getting for this entire Let's Play because I am not going to bother to even read those comments until I am all said and done. Just want to warn you of that now. Aspertia City, I love the theme here. It might be my favorite theme of any opening town ever. Do you know Professor Juniper? She's a famous Pokemon researcher. Actually, she's an old friend of mine, and she called me today for the first time in ages. This is out of the blue, but May, do you want to have a Pokemon? No. What? That's a shock. I'll ask you again. Do you want a Pokemon? And if you say no, it just repeats that over and over. We're going to say yes. Okay, step 1 completed. Well, then do you know what a Pokedex is? No. I see. It's an amazing device that automatically records the Pokemon you encounter. Yet another question. You want a Pokedex, right? Sure. Step 2 completed. May, your course of action has been set. A girl named Bianca has come here to meet you. She's Professor Juniper's assistant. I was told to simply look for a big green hat. That's right. You're going to go look for Bianca. And then you'll get a Pokedex and a Pokemon to be your partner. Oh, your X-Transceiver's in your bag, right? Sorry, Cross-Transceiver. I messed that up a lot in Pokemon Black and White 1 too, but it's still stuck in my mind as X-Transceiver. Do you know how to open up your bag? Yes, I do. A girl's name is Bianca. I was told you should look for a big green hat. She might be lost because it's her first time here. Go look for her. Okay, Mom, I can do that. And let's head on outside and into the nice, beautiful spring air. You know where I come from? Spring is like a cruel joke, and you barely get to enjoy it for more than like 3 weeks before winter just changes directly over into summer. I envy people who actually get 3 months of this season. Hey, you get a Pokemon yet? There aren't any Pokemon trainers around here, and I'm getting bored. What's that? A person named Bianca's giving you a Pokemon? Really? Hey, if you get a Pokemon, take really, really good care of it, okay? Yeah. Okay, let's go get your Pokemon. There's something I have to do. And to do that, I need someone I can trust besides my partner Pokemon. A person I can trust. That's right, I'm talking about you. You seem like you got good instincts. You head on home. Okay, big brother. Bye-bye, May. All right, let's go find that person named Bianca. Let's go. And I believe Hugh is going to make he's going to follow us the entire way. We can't really detour right now because this is the only mission we have in mind. We're just going to go right on past. Look at that, a Pokemon Center and a gym in the starting town. How often does that happen? Like never. But we're just going to follow this path over here and make our way up the stairs because this is where we're going to get ourselves a beautiful view and get a vantage point of the town. Well, also, oh, I get it. The Outlook is Aspertia's most famous spot. I'll bet Bianca's up there looking at the scenery. Come on, go get your Pokemon already. All right, let's do it. Oh, it's good to see her again. It's so pretty. Hey there, don't you agree? Oh, my name is Bianca. I'm the assistant of the Pokemon professor, Professor Juniper. By the way, I'm looking for someone. Do you know a person named May? No, I'm just kidding. We're going to say yes this time. Oh, wait, you're May. Wow, you're exactly like what I heard. Nice to meet you. I have a really important request to ask you. Will you help us complete the Pokedex? Whoa, that's a big responsibility. I just learned what a Pokedex is. Sure? Oh, wow, thanks! Your support will help Professor Juniper's research move forward. Anyway, filling up the Pokedex is totally fun. Is that all? Okay, bye. So, what now? See, Bianca was here, right? Now, come on, go get your But she only told me about the Okay, fine. All right, Bianca. Okay, then. Ta-da! And here's the Pokemon that will be your partner. Very weird that that dialogue is separated in any way. But yes, now we have our opportunity to pick our partner, and indeed, it is the same 3 starters as Pokemon Black and White 1. Now, like I said, I already went over those starters the first time around. In the last playthrough, I picked Snivy, because Snivy is kind of the special one to me. It was my very first ever starter with Generation 5. I have a big soft spot for it, but there is a starter that I have right behind it that I have almost picked just as many times as Snivy in all of my playthroughs of Generation 5, and that honor goes to Oshawott. I love Oshawott. I love the little guy. He's wonderful. And this time, we're going to pick him. Now, I really hope this Oshawott's a male, which it most likely will be, otherwise my nickname isn't going to work. Oh, wow, you and Oshawott are a perfect match. By the way, would you like to give a nickname to the Pokemon you chose? Yes! And no! Oh, man. Oh, that actually kind of sucks. I was really hoping that I could go... So my original plan was to go with Musashi, named after the famous samurai, given Oshawott's origins, but now I can't do that. So I think instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with a different inspiration, also a real person, but I'm going to name her after another very famous female samurai from back during, I forget which period it is, but it was around 1100 CE was when she was famous. Tomoe Gozen, very famous samurai. I mean, I was obviously going to go with Miyamoto Musashi, who is like the ultimate sword fighter. Honestly, his legend is almost greater than the actual character himself, and if you have ever read up on him, he's a really fascinating character in history. But Tomoe Gozen, while maybe not quite as notable, is still very, very important to Japanese history, and again, would highly recommend you go look her up, and that's who I'm going to name my Oshawott after. Not after the Tomoe character in Ghost of Tsushima. That is not the same inspiration, great character and all, but also doesn't fit the scheme that I'm going for in the slightest. Tomoe, is that the nickname you want? Yes. Tomoe, that is such a great name. Now you've got your Pokemon, so I'll give you this too. A Pokedex. And wow, that is an interesting looking Pokedex. It just looks like a Game Boy. Want to know what it does? The Pokedex is a high-tech device that automatically records the Pokemon you encounter. So Professor Juniper wants you to carry this Pokedex, visit a lot of places, and meet all of the Pokemon in the Unova region. Okay, is that all? Still, that Professor Juniper, the normal thing to do is to get an okay before sending someone clear out here, right? Yeah, I would assume so. Man, look at this view, though. It's just gorgeous. But we probably shouldn't dawdle anymore. This episode is never going to freaking end if I take so much time. Hey, how long are you planning on keeping me waiting anyway? Hey, what's that? Oh, man. So that's your partner, huh? That's great. My sister already said so, but take really, really good care of your Pokemon. Got it? Is that you're holding there? It's a Pokedex. Please give me a Pokedex, too. I want to get stronger. If I have a Pokedex, I can learn more about Pokemon. That'll make me tougher, right? Who are you again? I'm Hugh. I'm going to travel the Unova region with my Pokemon partner in order to search for something very important. Well, okay. I don't really get it, but going on a journey is always good. Anyway, I just happen to have another Pokedex on me. Excuse me. It looks like Pokemon distribution has really changed compared to 2 years ago, so the more, the merrier. And there's our little connecting thread there, 2 years ago. So, all right, Hugh, did you get it? I hope you did. Uh-oh. Let's see how good a trainer you are. I'll use my Snivy that I raised from an egg. Very interesting that they decided to still give him the counterpart starter, but not from the options that Bianca gave it. It's very interesting, very strange. But I guess it just happens to work out that way. So, all right, we're going to be going up against Hugh's Snivy with Tomoe. And before I do absolutely anything, I think we should probably give Tomoe a look and see what her stat distribution looks like. So, obviously, as Torrent, powers up water type moves in a pinch. Doesn't really have much more than that. We got Tackle and Tail Whip. I think we'll be able to look at her nature once all is said and done, because I didn't really get a chance to do that. Probably should have done that before I jumped into the battle, but that's okay. Now, because we have that really kind of low attack, this is probably not going to go in my favor, given the fact that Snivy also always goes first. I don't have any potions on me because I don't really have an opportunity to get any early on, unless I get lucky with Snivy overusing Leer as we make our way through this fight. But with that Leer, it's probably going to only have to get a couple of more hits in before all is said and done. So unless I get a crit here, I'm probably going to lose this fight. Almost guaranteed. This is kind of just a battle of speed at this point, and if the opponent decides to make some really stupid moves, which going for another Leer might be my get-out-of-jail-free card, we will see. Oh, another Leer. Okay, well, I won this fight. Never mind. That was all Hugh's doing. He just had to use Tackle, and he would have won. But okay, there we go. 94 experience points, enough to get Tomoe to level 6. And there we go. Almost level 7, too. Wow. Couldn't have achieved victory for my partner. I didn't read that whole thing. It all went away too quick. I don't auto-skip that part. Or I don't skip that part. It auto-skips, I should say. I lost. This is different than battling with wild Pokemon. Well, whatever. I'm just happy to know you're a trainer I can count on. Cool. Heading off first. Get stronger. Yeah, Hugh's got an energy about him that's very strange. The Pokemon on both sides did their best, but this little one is still weak, so battle with it. Make it stronger. Alrighty, let's go make your Pokemon better at the Pokemon Center. It's like the best place ever for Pokemon who battle and get hurt. Alright, Bianca. I'm with you then. Are we going to be able to actually buy things too? Pokemon Center is the same no matter where you are. Let's go inside. Honestly, this place is just freaking... It's got so much going on. I love it. This is the best starter town ever. Okay, I'll show you around the Pokemon Center. In our little tutorial here that's obligatory. Pokemon Center heals Pokemon for free. Should bring your Pokemon here anytime they are weak. Pokemon, hand me your Pokeball for a sec. And there we go. Simple as. But then, of course, we also have the Pokemart here, which I'm assuming this one only sells Pokeballs and potions. We got the PC. If there's a Pokemon in it, you can also withdraw Pokemon from it. Next thing is over here. Also, this music, it's just so chipper. This is the Pokemart. Here you can buy and sell many different items. The Pokeballs you use to catch Pokemon can also be bought at the Pokemart. Here, May, I'll give you some Pokeballs. Yes, yes, yes. And I believe she gives us 10 right off the bat, which is freaking awesome. Next up, I'll show you how to use those Pokeballs. Follow me. Okay, but before I follow you, I actually have the option to go in here and actually buy a couple of things with what limited money I have. I'm going to use this opportunity to get myself 5 potions. Nothing crazy. And really quickly, I want to check what this guy has. I think he just has, like, mail, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, lots of mail that you can write little messages into and attach them to Pokemon that you decide to trade away to other people. Obviously, these messages cannot just be absolutely anything because Game Freak is not going to let people accidentally send incredibly offensive things to one another or purposefully send. So they make sure that you go through a curated list of phrases. And our mom is here. Oh, nice to meet you. You must be Bianca, right? And May picked Oshawott then. Looking good. Oh, I almost forgot. Here, take these. They're running shoes. We are just getting everything right off the bat. This is awesome. Setting us on our way. Perfect fit. I'll read the instructions to you. Hold the B button to run faster than normal. Now you and your Oshawott can run anywhere. This is from me. And we're also going to get ourselves the town map. Which, obviously obligatory in every game. Why are there 2 town maps? I want you to give the other one to my big brother. That's a good idea. Even if it is a single road to the ocean, having a town map is always nice. I mean, if you use a town map, you'll know all about what the Unova region is like. Aw, you guys, just watching this is making me happy. Come on, we're headed for Route 19. I'll teach you how to catch Pokemon. All right, Bianca, I will be right over there soon enough. Don't you worry. Bon voyage. Take Oshawott and go see many different Pokemon and people with your own eyes. All right, Mom. I suppose off we go, right? Is that it? Is that absolutely it? Yes, it is. Okay, so we're going to head up this way. Even though there is more people you can talk to around the city, most of them just give like standard tutorial advice and whatnot. However, if you head on in here and make your way through, you're going to get stopped by this lady. Hey, May, you can't go without... Oh? You're with Oshawott. Okay, this is a going away gift. Don't be shy. Take it. That's so nice. Just a free potion. A Pokemon get hurt, take it easy and go to a Pokemon Center. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, first thing I want to call attention to is this spot right here. In these gates, you will have the option to actually see these little crawls here, which will actually tell you some very interesting information. This is often related to things like Pokemon swarms, which... Swarms are when very specific and rare Pokemon could pop up in a specific route. They will only be available for a limited time, so you can go and find them. You'll also get some more information about the upcoming areas as well as the previous areas when you're in an in-between area. It's all actually very good stuff to check on. It's probably one of the most useful pieces of information that you'll get really in any Pokemon game, honestly. It tells you quite a lot. And as we head outside, Bianca is going to be right here waiting for us. And right off the bat, I want to say that this is probably going to be it for this episode, but also I will not be doing any bios on this first route here because there are no new Pokemon here. The only thing you can catch on Route 19 is Patrat and Purloin. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so very much for watching this first episode of Let's Play Pokemon Black and White 2. I hope you all enjoyed it very, very much, and I will see you all in the next one.